How do you think Brodie Croft looked today?
Thought he looked like Brodie Croft, but in a better coloured jersey.
Leeds have won back-to-back rugby league titles. The golden generation finally has its golden fleece. No England game, it seems, is complete without a Ryan Hall try. Jamie Peacock.
Kevin Sinfield.
Rob Burrow.
Jamie Jones Buchanan for Leeds. It's one of the most popular beards in rugby league now.
There aren't many in Super League that can do that.
We just want to be a great friend, and if we can all try and be a bit of a better friend from time to time, I think we have a bit of a better place to live in.
The Lot Pod is kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. Fast Signs are an established family-run business who've been providing businesses around Leeds and West Yorkshire with effective signs and graphics for almost 30 years. Fast Signs are passionate about helping customers make a statement with signs that are eye-catching, effective and delivered fast. Hi everybody. Welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17-8 podcast, kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. We're here at AMT Handley for a very special Lot Pod. Eddie and, of course, Reese with me. Who's with us today? Statman Reese.
To celebrate his testimonial year or to kick off the event, there's only been one podcast, but he's now coming to his favourite podcast. Ash Handley, how are you?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for coming on.
No worries.
First of all, your testimonial year. That, to me, is mental. Because in my head, you're 22 years old and you've just started like 3 years ago. How does it feel for yourself?
Yeah, it's
testimonial
a bit weird.
year.
I know. It does feel the same to me, actually. It's gone so fast. People are passing by and time goes so fast, and another pre-season comes around the corner, another year goes by. So, it's crazy, really, but really looking forward to it.
To put it on a pinpoint of time, you are on Rugby League Live 4.
Wow.
So there's you, Edsky and Cammy. I think that's 2017.
Yeah.
So, if you can stistill play as yourself if you really want
What's
to.
his rating?
It was 62, I think. I remember I used just to drop Briscoe for you. But just on that testimonial, I've just got some names here of people that have had a testimonial for their 10 years at Leeds Rhinos. You've got Lewis Jones, Alan Smith, John Atkinson, David Ward, John Holmes, Francis Cummins, Kevin Sinfield, Rob Burrow, Danny Maguire, Jamie Peacock, Ryan Hall. Has that sort of sunk in as an achievement for you in terms of to have a testimony when you're amongst names like that?
I suppose I haven't really thought about it like that. We've got a wall at Kirkstall, our training ground, and it's I don't know why it's at Kirkstall, because I feel like it's one of the biggest achievements that you can get. Not biggest achievements, but you're rubbing shoulders with like the best players that have played before. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's 200 Super League games for Leeds, and I'm seven games off it now, so I should get it next year hopefully. And there's like all them names you named on there, not so much the older guys, but like Kev, Magsy, Rob, Hawley, Cal's on there, Ryan Bailey, all, so people like that, which it'll feel like a massive achievement to be on there, and I can't wait for them 7 games to go by and be on that wall. Yeah, I'd like it to be on show a little bit more, because there's only lads.
You are at a very esteemed club to have it.
So that's one that I want to tick off, and you're probably similar to that list that you don't really realise. It's a big achievement.
Massive achievement, yeah.
Looking back on your career, what stands out as a memorable moment? You've had a few, but can you pluck one out of the air that stands out for you as a special moment your time at the Rhinos?
Challenge Cup is obviously a big one. It was quite weird. Obviously, it was COVID and there's nobody there. That were a big moment for us to get his first trophy. I reckon that 2015 year, like a breakthrough year as well, like a massive year. Obviously, we went on and did the treble, but being in and around it and
special.
Like sort of being a rugby player was sort of becoming a reality. I think that was like quite a big moment, and it stayed with me for all this time now. And you just wanted to emulate that as we haven't been able to do it as of yet. But
Next year,
that's what we've wanted to. You want to strive for, and you want to be able to do that. So that was special as well.
So, talk about your testimonial then. Obviously, you've got some events coming up. They've got the game in January, which we'll talk about. But what other events is there as part of the testimonial where people can sort of get involved with?
Yeah, so we got my first event on the 13th of November at Roxy Lanes. So that's in a couple of weeks.
Do you know why we know about that? Because we were meant to do a live event on the 13th of November.
I'll see you.
And we've had to move our own event because of you.
Have you all got tickets? Have you got tickets yet?
Well, not for yours. Have you got one for ours?
I'll have to swap tickets.
Works both ways, that.
But yeah, that's sort of kicking off my testimonial first event. It's like a games night with the launch of my calendar there as well.
I'm hearing rumours it's not as raunchy as Dono's.
Yeah, it's not as raunchy. I didn't want it to be like with the actual event itself it's sort of standalone, and I didn't want people being turned away because it were just lads in boxers. It's more of like
you might attract a certain audience with that, to be fair. So
it's a games night in itself, but we're just launching the calendar there as well because we did the calendar at Roxy's. So it's sort of, they're both going hand in hand, but it's not just going to be lads walking around in the boxes and loads of baby oil. So.
And there's oddballs have been mentioned because obviously Testimonials have a bit of charity link.
A little bit of a charity link. They've been great. They had us sent a load of boxes over for the boys to wear. So like you say, it's not going to be as explicit as Dono's were. Yeah, just a bit of a fun type. What would you say? I said 80s vibe. It's a little bit 80s vibes, I'd say. Along with the decor of Roxy's a little bit,
right?
So down that route, really.
And tickets are available now.
Yeah, you can get your tickets now. There's a link on my Instagram, and it's been going around on Facebook, I think, as well. And it's £25 for a ticket, but you get a welcome drink, 2 drinks included, a bit of food going around. You get the games, and there's going to be prizes for winners and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's quite good value, actually.
Any hints on what the prizes might be at this moment in time?
I did a little thing on Instagram yesterday. So there's going to be maybe a couple of shirts, a couple of new shirts going out. Nice. The new 2025 kit. Maybe a pair of boots here and there. I've got a few of the lads to throw in their actual playing shirts as well. So
that'll stop me bidding them on the bidding for them on eBay. That's quite good. Then I might have to come for that then. And then obviously we're playing Wigan in January. Is that Brad whispering in your ear saying I want to play the champions, or do you get a bit of choice in who we play?
No, I think we played in the 2018. I think it was Liam Farrell's testimonial. A few in 2018. So I think they actually owed us one, or Gary said they owed us one. So I think they've kindly said they'll play in mine. So I'm really happy with that because you want to be, like you say, you want to be playing the best teams, and they've gone on and won everything out there last year. So it'll be good to see where we're at. Full pre-season underneath Brad. And yeah, looking forward to it. Get a full strength side going. I think that'll be his last game before the season starts.
Yeah, start of the year.
So it'll be a good test for us.
And is that tickets are not out?
No, they're not out yet. I don't think so. No.
And there was rumours on the pod with JJB of a shirt.
Yep.
For yourself. So
yeah.
Are you going to?
And here it is.
Are you going to describe it a bit, maybe?
Yeah. So
I've got some
Aston Villa colours.
If it's Aston Villa colours, I'm not coming.
My dad actually suggested Aston Villa colours.
Did he?
I thought, won't sell one shirt.
No,
it is a football style shirt.
All right.
I've gone for like that sort of style. I think I'll show you it after, and I think you'll get what I mean. A little bit of a retro style as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I wanted a colour that is a colour that we've got this year, so I've changed it. I wanted black, but I haven't done black, obviously, because we've got a black shirt. Yeah. But I think you'll like it. I'll show you after. Sponsor's been great. I think it looks class, actually. And we're going to obviously wear that in my game.
Fully designed by you then, did you?
Yeah, we looked at other shirts, like testimonial shirts. We looked at previous lead shirts. Wanted it to be a little bit different to obviously the 3 shirts that are coming out this year. So
top clue, whatever Ash's shirt is, it's not what the 3rd shirt's not going to be that colour then.
Yeah, well, there you go. So yeah, I think it's good anyway. We've had a bit of a whip rounder's family to ask about, what they think and other people and that. So everyone thinks it's pretty decent. So hopefully you boys do too.
So I've actually got some other testimonial shirts here. Chris will have to put these on after so that people on the pod can see it, but I've got sorry Chris, I've just sent you up there. They've got Danny Maguire's one here, which was a really nice white one. He actually said that was his favourite shirt when we did
the pod with him. He said
really?
His favourite.
So
chose his own, why not?
So
what's your best my testimonial?
So
I'll say that.
This will be a case of whether have you copied someone or whether you don't like it or not, or where do you rank your own. That was JP's, Jamie Peacock's, which was the silver.
Was that?
I think it was a normal kit.
Yeah.
But
So
it was
like the
JP
little
used it for
patch,
his patch there.
Oh, that's a
JJB.
JJB's.
Wow.
He did go black.
He told
in
me
tribute to Stanley, I believe.
Yeah, he told me that actually. I like that actually. Do you?
Yeah. It's not a bad jersey, to be fair.
I do.
That's
like
a Stan kit. That
a
Stanley kit.
I might even prefer that to our away shirt this year. Keith Seniors. Now I don't know if people have seen Keith Seniors, but it was a blue.
I
with,
do not remember that at all.
Well, I found this on Google. So it had KS4 on it. It's blue there, but dark blue on the shoulders. And again, Chris will put this on the pod so everyone can see it. These are just Google. I might have got these wrong.
Well, it looks like it's his shirt.
It looks like it does say KS4 on it. So yeah, that was
conviction.
Kevin's. I think Kevin's used it from the shirt from the season that year. And one of my personal favourite, Matt Diskins.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a beauty that.
I think that's my. If everyone's not seen the Matt Diskin one again, Chris is going to.
You're missing one here.
It's the quarters.
No, you're missing a very.
We've got the Diskin one in the studio.
You've got missing a very.
The personal favourite.
There we go.
How I describe it is Ryan Bailey's Art Attack.
Yeah. Wow.
Any of them you're envious of?
No.
Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah.
So there you go. Ash's shirt is going to be better than all of those.
All of those.
So last thing to sort of really on the testimonial then when it makes you going into 2025, and we're going to talk about your career at the Rhinos after this, but because it's your testimonial year, does it change your mindset a bit? Does it change how you approach the season? Maybe subconsciously or maybe not so?
No, I don't think so. I didn't realise how much there is to go into it, like prep, and obviously this event's been coming up and the game's coming up and all that, so you've got to do quite a lot of, it's almost like a full-time job in the background of trying to push it and get people down to events and stuff and chasing people for other bits and bats. So I can imagine that'll be a bit of a new stress whilst I'm playing. I remember I was in a meeting with Sean the other day, and we were stressing trying to get something over the line. I thought I couldn't imagine having to play on Friday after what we've been doing. Yeah, so it'll obviously be a little bit different, but I don't think it'll be any different. I think I'll just sort of put it to one side, focus on game, and then earlier in the week I'll try focus on testimonial stuff. I think that's how I'll probably do it, yeah.
So on to your sort of a career at the Rhinos then. You started or made your debut in 2014. Obviously where we're sat right now didn't exist in 2014. Do you miss the old Handley? I know Eddie does.
Just the South Stand.
The old South Stand, but do you miss it? Or do you feel it's different? Like how does it compare playing in? Obviously, we compare it as fans, but how does it compare as a player?
I think the change, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I think the old change rooms are quite iconic. I actually, when we were looking for testimonial shirts, there were a photo of Ryan Bailey with his shirt on coming out of the change room doors, and that change room I think were pretty iconic. The way it were all laid out, the benches, and everyone had their own seat where they sat. When you were a new lad coming in, you would never sit in so you'd walk in and the main 17 would be there, and we all those young lads were just crammed on the edge, and obviously the history that went with that, the teams that had been in there and the wins they'd had. So yeah, I suppose I do miss aspects of it. Obviously this is mega in it, but you do miss little bits like that.
Absolutely. And then about 2 years ago, after you got your 100th try, there was a video that was released which you said, these are my favourite 5 tries that you've scored. Now they were 2016, St Helens away, where you made a break halfway and you ended up goose-stepping the full-back, and if you remember that one.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
2019...
Who was the full-back? Lachlan Coote?
Yeah, I think it was.
Nice.
Yes.
No,
No, it wasn't.
It was
I don't.
McDonald or something? Is that what
I don't think it was Coote from the video that I saw.
It wasn't.
2019.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you goose-step someone, it's fine. 2019 at Catalans at home. Against Catalan at home, we had a red card, and Rob Louis kicked it through, and you scored under the post. You named that one. 2015, St Helens at home, when Watkins made the break down the right hand side into Maguire, then into, I think, got a hat trick that day.
You got a hat trick, didn't you? Saints home and away that year.
Yeah.
Because he played really well, didn't he, at Saints?
Yes.
He was at half-back, wasn't he?
And then 2018, Castleford Ellen Road, where you completely wrong-footed Jamie Ellis.
Yeah.
And then you also, in 2020, the Challenge Cup final, your first try from there. So there were the 5 tries you mentioned. But since then, you've scored some absolute pearls, haven't you?
Last year.
So you had... Well, you scored 5 tries in one game since that video came out against Hull FC in 2022.
Yeah.
You've obviously got your try against Saints in round 3 last year.
Oh, yeah,
in the 1-point victory.
Yeah.
And then you've got your 2 tries from the beginning of this season, where at one point, I think you're on track to get 44 tries at one point. Sod your injury. Yeah. But round 1 here and obviously round 2 at KR.
Yeah.
Has that top 5 changed now because of the summer tries recently?
I reckon maybe the first one this year maybe gets in there. That Saints one were all right, actually. But
Yeah, it was.
Nah, I reckon that one would probably get in.
It was a special try, that. I just something about opening day.
Yeah, it was. Just like that felt like all the effort you put in over pre-season for that moment. Do you know what I mean? So that were a big try. And it was my birthday that day as well. So birthday try, yeah. Yeah.
And you went round Nenny McDonald at the end as well, which is my personal favourite bit.
No, you forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't really. I'm going to have to admit, for the round 2 one against KR, I thought it was Momo that was running the length of the pitch because you're that far back in the stand. I couldn't tell it was you or you, and I was only going to realise that when Ash Handley scored. All right, it was Ash. And then sort of talking about sort of players over that time. If you were going to pick a fantasy team of these Rhinos players that you've played with,
to pick through.
Oh god!
Wow.
I'm only going to ask you to, if you had 3 bankers, first 3 players you go, they would be on my team, but exclusive of players that you've played with. Who are the first 3 names that come straight?
Good question.
To your head?
I'd say Danny Maguire straight away. I'm trying to think of like a playmaker, a forward, and then maybe like a fullback or something, but definitely Danny Maguire. I'm thinking JP maybe.
Must be.
Yeah.
It'd have to be. Surely.
The silence while Ash's brain.
I'm just trying to think who can, like, if you're in a tight game, who's going to break a game open.
Danny Maggs, JP.
Another one. If you could, can you pick someone from a time? I reckon Carl Watkins in 2015.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So no one from recent years in your top 3 then?
To be fair, Carl Watkins.
Yeah, there was it was the treble winning team.
Nice one.
And JP.
Sorry, set you up there, Ash.
Cheers.
Watkins in 2015 were awesome.
He was a great player. And then obviously you have captained the side as a Rhino.
Yeah.
I believe the first time, was it 2020 or was it 2022?
It was against Wakefield.
Against Wakefield.
So, no, I can't remember.
2020 wasn't it with Rich Hager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk us through that experience about being named sort of captain for the first time, and was it a shock? Was it a surprise at the time?
Yeah, I think so. I can't really remember too much about that, to be honest. I'm not really sure how I felt, to be honest. It's just like this. I don't think anything changed really. Just honoured, I suppose. I just wanted to play well, as I always do.
You always do,
right.
That's right.
As I always try to do. So I mean, rather than do anything different, just wanted to sort of, if I'm playing well and sort of lead by example, then hopefully the team would do the same, really. Yeah.
There's obviously quite a few comments as well. It's hard to influence from the wing as well.
Yeah.
And I was one of those people that said that. I can't remember what you were saying, Eddie, at the time.
I don't get that.
But I do remember when you were chasing.
No, I didn't say that, Reece.
When you chased down Greg Eden at Magic Weekend in 2022.
The Greg Eden didn't stand a chance. I like a great white hunting a little flounder. He just absolutely minced him.
But I always remember that moment going, that's the sort of leadership that when we were describing there, I think that's what you sort of going.
Did we win that game?
Yeah, it was we beat them.
we did,
Magic
yeah.
was the year after we didn't beat them.
Yeah. No, it's just like, it's hard. I was speaking about it on the Box 2 podcast. It's hard to like quantify what leadership means or is. Like you say, you can't lead from playing on the wing, and I actually agree in some sense, because you're not involved in the game as much as like say a halfback or someone who's in the middle of the field all the time. So you can't be running in all the time, expect it. But do you need that? Do you need someone to be constantly barking orders? I don't know the answer. I mean, I bet a lot of fans will know the answer. Won't they?
Don't have an answer. Whether it's the right one.
Twitter coaches.
It's a completely different matter.
And you mentioned the 2020 Challenge Cup final briefly there as obviously one of your favourite moments. That must have been, I mean, it was surreal for us. I remember sitting socially distanced in a pub to watch it. I enjoyed the story about Reece Martin still being in his kit into the service stations on the way home.
Really?
Yeah.
Boots and everything, strapping.
We're still on
There were a few. I remember Brad Dwyer had his full kit on. I don't think he took it off all weekend.
Still wearing it now.
Yeah,
It's quite a unique experience just to be able, because you couldn't.
yeah, it was weird. It was weird. But I said before that when you do the Challenge Cup and everyone goes, not does their own thing, but everyone goes, say if you've won or whatever, like we did in 2015, you go off with your families a little bit and you spend a bit of time with them, everyone's in separate rooms, all that. So you're not really just the team together. So we sort of tried to spin a little positive on it, and the drive back, the 4-hour, 5-hour coach journey home, we're all together having a beer together. That were that'll be stuck in my memory for a little bit, and that were a very good time
There
afterwards.
were some beers consumed on the
there were.
bus on the way back.
You couldn't go anywhere else, could you?
No,
Drink on
that was
coach
it.
on the way home.
So
And then on sort of the flip side of that, you'd experienced winning as part of the squad in 2015 and 17, then as a player in 2020. 2022 grand final, you know, we probably weren't expecting to be there, but the momentum...
I was.
You always were.
I definitely was.
That momentum took us through.
And nobody can say that isn't true.
That your first experience as not really winning.
yeah,
What did you take from that experience and, you know, that game in particular?
well, the
22 grand final, yeah.
It was a weird moment because I think it was quite special that we got there in the first place.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of confidence. Like Rowan had just come in, and we were just, especially some of the results on the way there. Like that game we played in Catalan,
Unbelievable.
it was silly, wasn't it?
Wigan away, unbelievable.
And Wigan away.
Well,
Like,
there was
we
the
were down-
Catalan in the league game, wasn't it? And then when we did them again in
Yeah.
playoffs.
And then the Wigan game, did we have like a sending off in the first 15 minutes or something, and we ended up beating them 40 points to 18?
Oh, early in the season,
Oh,
yeah.
was that
yeah.
different?
No, that was,
Was that
In
Tetivano
that
got sent.
game, someone got sent off.
Tetivano, I think.
Yeah, but in the playoff game,
I don't think that
a
was the
Wigan
same
player
year,
got sent
actually,
off.
was it?
Wigan player John Bateman.
John Bateman got sent
Oh,
off a
yeah.
high shot on
Yeah.
late
that's-
and high on season.
But
on Hayden
the
season.
semi-final was when Bentley turned into the
Yeah,
prime
he
finisher.
played well, didn't he?
It was unbelievable. Those
So
playoff.
that year, so the Cass game, Harriet, my missus, she gave birth to our son the day before that Cass game at like 10 at night, half 9, 10 at night, and we'd been there since 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'd not eat. I think I was just living off Haribo's the whole time. Or in hospital, not even eating. And you meant to like carb up at it before the game.
Before the game.
So we got home at about 3 in the morning, and then it were like a 1 o'clock kickoff or something, 2 o'clock
It was a
kickoff.
Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Afternoon.
So I just got to the game, played. Well, I got injured. I broke my foot in that game. I don't know if you remember. And we had 3
You
weeks.
broke your foot?
Yeah, I broke my foot. And we had 3 weeks to the grand final, and I missed the playoff games and played in grand final.
Playing grand final.
But so that build up, all I can remember is I just need to be able to run. I need to be able to get myself right so I can run. And then I'm like, right, can I
Can I run?
run? Yeah. Can I play rugby? Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Let's give it a go.
I just so
On
I
the
just
biggest
played.
stage.
So all that time, I was just building up to. I hope I'm fit. I wasn't thinking about the game. I was just hoping if my body would get me there, and then it just took care of itself. The game. The feeling afterwards are a bit like, I think when you look back now, when you reflect, you're like, we did really well to get there, and but at the time we felt, even though we were going behind, we felt like we could beat anyone. Like we had the confidence to do it. So we were behind, but in the change rooms at half time, we were pretty confident we could come back. There were a few like calls that went against us, wasn't there? I remember we went down the wing one time. We were going to score, and they pulled it back for forward pass.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
and we got a few tries late on, did we? So
well, Cruz scored just before half time as well.
Yeah,
I think I remember rightly, and then I think there was a penalty against Reece at one point. But I think as a fan, I can't remember what your thoughts were at the time. But I think just because how the season started, we were almost as happy to be that we just took it quite good compared to previous grand finals.
Yeah.
I personally was like, I'm just really enjoying the day out.
Yeah.
And what will be because we got there due to the momentum drive that year.
Yeah.
And Rowan came in,
Any other questions, Eddie, on Ash's career before?
So who's been the most, or one of the most influential people or teammates that you've had over your career? Obviously, you've played with some legends that we've mentioned. But has any of them been really influential to you, Ash?
Maybe not like directly. I just think maybe like learnt a little bit off him or how he was as a player. I think JP were like quite a good person to learn off. He's not in my position or anything, but just like some of the things he'd say in the change rooms and his actions, I spoke about before at a dinner we was at, and I reckon I'm trying to be a little bit similar to how he was. Where
I would have mentioned that.
He would say something before you go out and you know full well that he was going to do it, and he would, and you see it as a fan. And he just led by example every time he played. And I think that sort of stuck with me. I think when you ask me these questions and something that jumps into my mind, that's the answer. It's got to be JP, just because of how he was. He would say something, call people on something because they're not doing the right thing, but he's definitely doing the right thing at the right time and leading by example. Yeah.
And won it all,
I think
everything.
So I think he's probably. I wouldn't say that he was on me or come on, Ash, you need to do this, or giving me pointers on my game or anything like that. It's just watching him from afar and how he went about his business, and set his standards, which very, very respected.
I assume Kev was similar as well.
Yeah, definitely in different ways. He was. I think Kev were quite level-headed. I think that's probably what you need to have as a captain. Not saying JP wasn't, but he was like he was a bit more emotional than Kev, I'd say. Not in a bad way or anything like that, but you could just tell he was ready to go.
And as a senior player now, what advice would you give do you give to the younger Rhinos players that are coming into the first team side?
Just I reckon just take it serious now.
As soon as you're in.
Yeah. I think you obviously get a little stroke of luck to get your chance, but I was pretty lucky, mate, to be honest, because my debut I played awful, and then London, yeah, and then I ended up playing. I think Tom got injured, so we didn't have anyone else, so I ended up playing, and I did all right that year. But then 2016, I was awful again, and I just managed to get another chance. But it's probably because I wasn't taking it serious at the start.
You think so?
I thought I took it for granted a little bit. You thought, how good's this in 2015 when you're sort of a fringe player and getting your chances here and there. But then when you were needed a little bit more, maybe that 2016 season, I was 17, didn't really play in 17. Not taking it seriously enough off the field, maybe.
What changed then? Did someone speak to, or did you kind of?
I remember having quite a serious conversation with Yestin, he's my agent, Yestin Harris.
Wow, yeah.
And we went for a coffee, and I think he was just like, he sort of just questioned me a little bit. I'm like, is everything all right with you? Not like in a horrible way, or just like you don't seem to be like the player you are, or like we've seen before. Like what's happening? And I thought we're taken aback by it a little bit. Maybe rethink, what I was doing in my life at the time, what I could change, and sort of restart a little bit and take it a bit more serious, get more professional, I'd say. And then go down that route. And I think when we were coming into 2018, I think I might have been off contract as well. So, if I didn't pull my finger out, it might have been a different story as well. Yeah, could have been. So
it's interesting that Yestin's your agent. Is he one of the players that might have sort of inspired you growing up? Is he one of those names? Or
he broke my heart. That's what he did.
I think I was a bit too young. Actually.
A bit too young.
Yeah,
not as old as me.
I respect him. I do respect his opinion. I speak to him quite a lot, and obviously he knows the game really well. He's a great player, wasn't he?
Yeah, amazing.
But we'll have conversations, me and Yestin, and I'm thinking. And then 6 months might go by and he's like, he's right there. And he's done it maybe before. I can't even think of an example to tell you now. But he's always been right about certain stuff. And I think he knows, when he says something, you think, he'll be right about that. Or it'll come true. Or his opinion, his opinion is very well clued up on the game sort of thing. So, when I talk to him, I think, he knows his stuff.
So if not Yestin, then who else has sort of inspired you when you were sort of growing up playing league as a kid?
It's weird because when people ask me that question, it's probably like players I ended up playing with at the end of
probably ended up playing
my
with
career,
them.
yeah. So like Magsy, Rob, Kev, all them boys.
Must have been surreal then.
Yeah, weird.
Him.
A bit of imposter syndrome, actually.
Yeah, and then
a little bit.
In the playground, I'm Danny Maguire, and then and then you sat with him.
Yeah, he's weird,
in
mate.
the shed.
He says on the playground, he still does this.
I love Danny Maguire.
Yeah, it's weird, mate. I reckon Scott Donald were a good one for me as well.
One of the most underrated Rhinos, without a doubt. Don't get the recognition he deserves.
I saw someone put an all-time 17 out for Rhinos, and I thought Donna would have been one of the two wingers, to be fair. I love Scott Donald. One of my favourites.
Who was in it?
Above Ash?
Ash wasn't in it, unfortunately.
Oh, wow. Nice
it
one.
was Ryan Hall.
Reece loves kicking you in nuts.
Yeah, he's done that twice now.
I can't remember who the other winger was now, actually. I have to have a look.
Reflecting on the big games you've played.
Get it up.
Which rival team or player has given you some of the toughest challenges? Is there a team where you've been like, they were a good side, or a certain player throughout your career where you're like, oh God, not him?
I don't know if there's
they're really good.
Oh, Bevan French is
He's all right.
one of them. Yeah, he's all
what
right.
annoys me about him is he was a winger, world class winger, let's say, moves to sixth, and then he's still seems to be even better. That's how.
Yeah,
that's
he's a
annoying.
good player, and he does some like stuff. You're like, how's he done that? But he's class, isn't he?
Yeah,
Saints are a good team as well. When we've played, obviously, like when they've been as good as they were over these last few years, they're just hard to beat.
Yeah.
Even like start of this year when we played them 2 games, we played at best half of rugby we probably played last year against them in that first
at home.
game. Yeah, and we still couldn't beat them. I'm like,
we've just thrown everything out.
yeah. So
I'm pleased to say you were the other winger on the sheet,
wow.
actually. You're going to have to go at Yestin, because Yestin was
was
on the bench. Brent Webber being picked ahead of... this is not my list, this is someone else that's done it. But yeah. Anything else on the career of Rhinos before we move on, Eddie?
Have you got any superstitions at all before a game? Any pre-match meals? Any routines you do? No?
I was doing a bit of that meditation one night at the start of last year. Still doing it a little
75
bit.
hard.
I did that, but this was like a separate thing.
Right.
I seen.
Did you have 5 guys after the 75 hard? You told us at the media day you were going to...
Oh yeah, I don't think I did.
You didn't. You were going to tuck into a 5.
I don't even think I stopped until after I finished that.
It stopped.
I didn't have a cheat meal till like May or something.
Wow,
like that. Yeah,
right
weird.
through.
Yeah, I did
That
it
was
for
January
ages.
at the media day.
Yeah, did it for ages.
Oh my God.
Lost my head a little bit, but what did you ask me then?
Preparation, superstitions.
Yeah, I did that
superstition,
meditation thing, didn't I? Which were good. It were weird. Like it were in a book I read, something that Michael Jordan were doing. So I thought, well,
if it works for him,
yeah, I'll give this a go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then I did I used to write down 3 things on a piece of paper that I was going to do. It was like you were meant to write it as if it had already happened.
Right.
So like, fantastic.
True, yeah.
How good will that carry or something? I'd always write. Can you swear on this? No.
Gosh,
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to write.
you can say what you want on here.
I mean, you kind of have to after you've asked, to be honest.
I used to.
You kind of have to now.
I used to write. Them carries were hard as fuck all the time because I used to obviously have to carry hard out of yardage.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to say I'd done it before I was going to
Before
go
you
do
done
it. Yeah.
And then it came true.
Yeah. So I was just doing that, but I used to write like obscure things just to see what had happened. And in that Hull KI game, I wrote kick try from Brody.
No.
Did you?
Yeah.
You
Swear to God.
manifested it.
Swear to
And then
God.
it came.
Yeah.
You need to keep writing these little lists.
I know. Well, I did.
Ideally,
I did.
Grand final
Yeah,
winner
league
2025, please.
Challenge Cup win. That fucking
Treble.
grand final win was amazing. Brad Arthur 5-year deal.
Start manifesting those things now. Oh, funny. So on to this season, or last season, whatever we call it, 2024. Some personal highlights for you. Obviously, you were named the Rob Burrow Player of the Year. The first year that it was obviously that award was awarded. Must have meant a lot for you, particularly having played with Rob in the latter years of his career. What did that sort of mean? Especially as well, I know you said on the box too, you only played 16, 17 games this year.
Yeah. It were emotional actually.
It was.
The whole night of the presentation. So, I think Try of the Year were first for us guys, and Brody won it.
I did think yours from round 1.
Yeah, so did I. No, but Brody won it, and he spoke about, because that was the MND
Yes,
Rob
it was,
Burrow
yeah.
round on it, so that were
the
quite
league
special.
game.
And
Yeah, it really was.
there was something else as well with Rob. It was Phil Daly got an
Yeah,
award.
Clubman of the Year.
Clubman of the
and
Year.
it was pretty much for what he'd done for us, but then obviously he'd gone above and beyond for Rob and his family as well, from everything he'd done behind the scenes with that, and that was quite emotional. And then the Rob Burrow Award that I won, and Jeff were presenting it, Rob's dad.
Oh, God, yeah.
So he was saying his little piece, and everyone was sat there basically crying. And then they started talking about, and I knew it was me, and I was like, no way. And then I just felt a wave of emotion, you know.
Yeah, incredibly emotional.
Yeah, so I started getting a bit goosebumpy now, actually. Just unreal. Like, one of the biggest achievements I think I'll ever have, no matter what happens after this. Or it's just great to win something like that. Just honoured.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you didn't play the MND game, did you? Because I think you had an injury. But
Yeah.
I suppose from a different
Concussion,
perspective, was it concussion?
Yeah,
Was it?
dubious one.
But I suppose that's probably throw me off as that. I suppose that gave you a different perspective from that game. But for you as a player, you obviously want to play in that game. But given the event, what was it like for you being in the crowd that day?
Yeah, it was a mental game, really. The boys were great, weren't they? It didn't matter who were playing that game.
Immaculate.
We were going to win. Because I didn't play, I actually got to walk out with all the old boys.
Yes, you did, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, didn't we? Sutton and everybody.
Yeah, and it were a bit like we'd gone back in time, and you're back to chatting with everyone like you were in the changing rooms back then. So I suppose that was quite a nice moment for me to be able to do that, because if I were playing, you wouldn't have got that moment. So yeah, it was weird, but I wasn't really riding the waves because the boys were that good. Like, you didn't even think we were going to lose that game, did you?
No. Absolutely no.
So sometimes when you're watching, it's in the balance, you're all over the place, and probably more so than when you're playing rather than watching. But it was just a great occasion, wasn't it?
It's my favourite ever Leeds game.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Of all grand finals.
I've said
Absolutely, 100%.
my new
It meant
favourite
so
moment.
much
was
to
around
me.
Atmosphere or
The atmosphere
like,
for
everything.
Rob, everything. It was just, even the way Sky handled it.
Yeah.
You know, of all their presentation, and
Yeah,
with
that was
JJB
good, yeah.
and with Jonesy and Barry Mack, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Without doubt, my favourite ever Leeds
Probably the
game
proudest
ever.
moment we've had as fans. That
Yeah,
day.
that's class.
Certainly
Oh,
for
we
me,
were so
it
proud.
That's good.
Unbelievable.
But obviously, shortly after that game, you had injury, which sounded like it's been around for quite a long time compared to what you were talking on the pod.
Yeah.
How is the injury recovery going?
It's good, yeah. I'm nearly there now.
Well enough to play paddle.
Yeah. It's a bit of rehab for it. Yeah, it's getting there. It's just stiff, but it will be. I suppose I've had a reconstruction on my wrist, so it is what it is, I suppose.
And for those that haven't listened to the box too, obviously this is something that you potentially would have meant to have in the off season last year.
Yeah, there was just no good time to have it. So it was booked in, or we couldn't get it booked in until like 3 days before I was going to start pre-season last year.
Wow.
So I can't afford to miss the full pre-season, and it had settled down, when I wasn't doing any contact or pushing it, anything like that. So it felt all right. So I thought, I'll just leave it for a little bit, and then 10 games went by and it was killing me again. So I was just trying to get through, really. But I needed it doing. It were a decision I needed to make, whether I waited until the end of the year and then missed a bit of pre-season again, or just get it done. But I had, I don't know if you heard on the other podcast that I had that general anaesthetic or local anaesthetic, sorry. And I couldn't do that for another 12 rounds. It killed my hand. It felt great in the game, like a new wrist, but I just couldn't do it for 12 rounds or whatever were left. So I had to make a decision. It was a hard one because we were trying to sneak in, and everyone knows when we sneak in, we
win it.
Tend to go well.
An unusual aura, isn't it?
It's weird. You just get this weird confidence that if you get in, all can happen. So I was, toying with what I was going to do, coming down to that. But in the end, I probably made the right decision, really.
And you'll be fit, ready for when pre-season starts?
Yeah, should be ready day one. Maybe a little bit of contact stuff and putting pressure on the floor. But other than that, should be fine. Yeah.
And to Eddie's pleasure, my last question on last year. Obviously, it was a disappointing season on the whole. Yeah. You mentioned on the pod, on the JJB, that it was such, but it was the second year that we missed out on the playoffs. Obviously, maybe after that Hull KR game, the initial reaction of the squad is going to be not happy because we haven't made it. But what was the reaction of the squad maybe that first time you get back together after that, when you've all had a bit of time to reflect? What's the mood like in that camp? Because obviously I know you got brought back in for that week. What was
that kind of week of pre-season?
So what was that sort of mood like when you first all came back? You've all had time to reflect on now the season's done. We're not playing playoff rugby. What was that mood like amongst the team?
Shite, really. Yeah. I wouldn't even like to say that it's, we feel like you're ready. Nobody's ready to go into next year. Nah, it's definitely them, because everyone's wanting to get away and relax and rewind. Yeah. You don't want to watch playoffs because you're not in it. So everyone's sulking, really. Yeah, and then you're getting flogged because it wasn't anything like, it wasn't a punishment or anything like that. It was literally just so he's going to change a little bit of what we do going forward for pre-season. So rather than wasting a couple of days when we come back, sort of run them couple of days how he wants it running when we come back in November. So then we're raring to go then, rather than him having to set any sort of standards before, if we get it wrong or it's not running as smoothly as he wants it, sort of thing. So that's all it was, really. Lads were great. Obviously, I want training with them, but everyone were getting stuck in and training hard as they always do. But I think you just need the mental refresh of getting away and stop thinking about rugby for a little bit. It's hard to carry on the motivation and get yourself up for like a week on week game wise. So definitely need at least a month of relaxation. So
talk about that week then, because we're getting the impression that Brad Arthur's pre-season is going to be hard.
Ian Blease said, didn't he?
Ian Blease.
How would he know?
He's not doing it. Well, Rob Oates said he was scared of him. So was that week a bit of a taster of what's to come?
Yeah.
Was it pretty intense?
Yeah. I jumped in a couple of bits because I could run. I just couldn't do any contact. And I just jumped in at the end when they did running, and that were hard for me. And I'd not done the full session that they had all done. So so it will be hard, but what's the point in it not being hard? Like you've done. You need it to be hard.
Are you one of those players that looks forward to it?
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
Really?
Yeah, love it. I want to win everything.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't want to. I'm not going in like, oh, why am I doing this? Because I'm doing it because I want to be the best player I am. You know what I mean? And I want it to be hard because it needs to be hard, or I won't be ready to play. I won't say that.
I wish you would. So does everyone else.
But you need a pre-season to be hard for you to have a good base for you to go into the next. What would you wouldn't want to have another season like we had last year and have an easy pre-season, or would you rather have an hard pre-season and then do something special, or
hit the ground running?
Yeah, so
and play Wigan.
That's it.
And beat them. Brad Arthur, into 2025. Brad Arthur is the Rhinos coach for 2025 and beyond, we hope, as fans. Ian Blease spoke to us recently, and he talked us through how Brad was appointed from his point of view and the interview process and how the search for the new head coach developed. But as a player, how do you find out about the new head coach? Are you informed throughout that process, or is it just like Ian Blease or Gary Evans comes in and says, right lads, Brad Arthur's the new head coach? Are you is there communication to the squad throughout that process?
You hear murmurs, I suppose. I suppose you hear murmurs like what you guys hear.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's quite similar for you guys.
Yeah, we probably get it from source, so like I'll hear it through more of a credible source than someone putting it on Twitter.
Definitely.
But yeah, when it's done, no one would say anything if it weren't done. But when it's done and dusted, I think Bleasy addressed the squad before it will release to the press, and then that's how we find out. It's similar with like signings and stuff. You hear murmurs of Sivo coming in, and then
it's announced.
It's told. We'll probably find out officially before it comes out. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So how did the squad feel when Brad Arthur was announced? Good feeling.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we obviously knew he was. Really good coach. Didn't know too much about him, but I knew he was obviously quite successful at Parry. Been there a long time. Yeah, and looking forward to working underneath him. I didn't know much about him as a person, but he's been great, really. And that's what you want. Again, like I say, you don't want someone coming in who don't know what they're doing. You want someone who comes in and you get a bit of a confidence boost from him because you feel like he knows what he's talking about. So
definitely.
That's what you want, isn't it?
And did things sort of change behind the scenes quite quickly when Brad sort of came in, or or do you think you'll see a bigger shift now that there's an off season?
I think performance wise you'll see a bigger shift in 2025. I don't think he could do much with the time that he had the back end of the year.
Yeah.
I think him and Rowan are quite different personality types. So it was a little bit different around training and what have you, and some of the stuff that you didn't necessarily think about that he would mention or bring up in game plan or how he wants things, and you're like, oh wow, as if we've not been doing that for however long. Not that it's wrong or right, but
just like highlighted it.
Yeah, highlighted things, or he wants stuff a certain way, and it's hard if this stuff's not right in front of your face. It's hard for you to keep doing them things, you know. So we changed. He literally brought in a rule of us meet like the line speed. I don't know if you noticed that in his game.
Oh, massively, yeah, massively.
But that was literally I want you to get a bit further for like a conversation, and then we did it in games, and you noticed it straight away. It wasn't like doing anything mental, or
he just mentioned it. Was it.
And then we practiced it a little bit, and then that was it. I think we were up there with conceding the least meters per set when we're probably the other way before. But that was just somebody else's way. It wasn't like this is right, this is wrong. Like I say, it's just
different ideas,
and you got to buy in, haven't you? You got to buy into whoever's in charge, because it'll never work if you don't. So
you mentioned it's going to be quite a big shift in terms of what we see on the pitch next year, without giving it away to any of the head coaches in Super League.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I ain't got anything. I'm withholding information. I just think that he's not give us he didn't give us loads last year.
Yeah.
And I reckon he'll give us...
But because, like you say,
yeah.
Still
you've got not much time,
yeah.
make some nuanced changes, but...
Yeah, so I think with time and with
expected.
pre-season, I think we'll obviously be a fitter group with a pre-season under him, and then some of the stuff he might change in attack. Like I say, I don't know what he's got to offer us, but I think it will be a little bit different. It's like anything, isn't it? When a new coach comes in, they have their own ideas and things change.
Philosophies, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you say, you follow that because he's the man. You mentioned a few new signings there. Ryan Hall's coming back.
Yeah.
Good to see Hawley back.
Yeah, be good to see him back.
Has he asked for his number 5 shirt back?
No.
He's not getting it.
He's not getting it either.
I said he needs to get 55, but... Must be quite weird for Ryan Hall coming back for you, because when he left, you were 22, I think.
Right.
You left in end of 2018. He's coming back, and you're 6-7 years more experience at the Rhinos, probably the senior player, your longest serving player now in the senior squad. Do you think that relationship or that will be any different with Ryan? Because it's
Maybe.
Because he'll probably help. I'm assuming he helped you growing when you were coming into the team.
Yeah, it'd be a bit different, I think. I still see Ryan every now and then anyway. Like, I've been out for a few beers with him every now and then, and been on camps at England and stuff. So, it might be a bit different. I don't know. You said about me being thinking I was still 22. I can't believe he's still playing and how good he's playing.
He looks well, though, doesn't he? His body looks amazing.
What is it, 36?
37.
I'll fact check.
You fact
crazy.
check that. Yeah, it's crazy.
He's killing it as well.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I think he'll. I know he's got a 1-year deal, but we were saying to Rob Oates and Ian Blease, I think he'll play beyond that.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think he'll get another year. So we've got Sevo, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
You say this is going well. We've got Hawley coming back. Sorry, they're both wingers.
Who's 37 this month?
This month?
Yeah.
Wow, he's looking well. Don't look
That's
it.
unreal.
Obviously, it begs the question how the three of you fit into the side. Are you excited by the competition for places then?
Yeah, it'd be good. It's really good. We're all left wingers as well, so I think we're all going to play on left.
Someone's playing centre.
No one's going to play on right. Going to have 3 on left.
That's the change next year. We're just going to play entirely on the left-hand side next year.
That's it.
And stack them all.
You have played centre though, haven't you? And there's been comments about. I've seen comments about Brad in general about versatility. You mentioned it about Jake Connon. The signing of Jake Connon, his versatility. When I looked at the rugby league project site, I think you had a string of games at centre back in like either 2017 or 2018.
I actually that 2018 that's when I actually broke into the team when I was playing centre.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. And then we signed Connie.
Earlier.
Yeah.
The year after. Yeah.
Connie.
So then I went back to the wing.
But in terms of that versatility, is that something that you're gonna either have to embrace, or are you looking forward to being a bit more versatile, or changing up maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Don't give anything away.
Yeah, well, it's going to be weird, isn't it? I'm not sure where I'm going to play yet.
Prop, and I told you.
I'm not playing prop. I'd quit. But yeah, I might play a bit of centre next year. Just looking forward to it. I like to be across the back line. It's just nice to, like you say, be a bit versatile. I don't want to be pigeonholed to one position. And if I can help the team and play a bit of centre, then I will do, yeah.
The Rhinos have got 2 kits out so far this year. Which ones have you got a favourite of the 2?
I do like the black one.
Do you?
Yeah, do you know?
No, I like it. I think it's.
I'm not as much of a fan.
Chris doesn't
I like different
don't
ones.
think
I do like the Baz one as well, though. The home one. Yeah.
The home shirt's
What's the other one? Oh, you
haven't seen it yet. I'll save you there. I'm not the away shirt. It's a split opinion, I think. The home shirt's a home run. It's a great kit.
Yeah.
It's easy, but it's a traditional. It's about as a Rhinos kit as you can get, isn't it? Blue with the amber.
Shall I see if I can show you my shirt now or not?
Yeah, go for it.
You can show us
on the pod.
Can't go on the screen though.
We can see it.
I just thought that. I'll just do
Chris
some.
is here, by the way.
Just do some.
Don't tell anyone that.
Just do some fill whilst we're recording this, because I do think that
for the people listening on Spotify and iTunes.
Sorry.
This is great.
My personal opinion, that black shirt needed a pop more colour in it, maybe yellow or anything like that. What other colours? I'm just trying to fill. Well, you mentioned about the Villa kit though. We had a maroon kit. I know it's not the claret, but we had the.
Oh yeah,
maroon.
we did. I actually liked that one as well.
The maroon kit.
Is it Laurie that loves it?
I've got it signed Yes and Harrison.
Good filling, by the way, guys.
That's it.
But I don't know if we're going to edit this out after or not. But
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So made you choose a luminous green then in the
I was going to say that for the third one.
Yeah. That's a nice kick, guys.
Do you reckon that takes the biscuit for the testimonial shirt? Do you reckon?
I feel that nice touch of retro.
Yeah.
I love the retro on it. But
found a nice vibe.
I've wanted that colour shirt for ages. We've not had
that colour
for ages.
For a long time.
Right.
And that's a home run for me.
Nice.
That should have been our away shirt.
Still should be.
Flipping back to the side, I listened to the box too. I found it really interesting. We talked about Cammy and the captain and leadership. Now, from my perspective, you're absolutely right. Because we're the weirdos that set up that Cam Smith Appreciation Society. But we said that.
I feel like we need to boot that again.
We set
some more push.
We set that up because we felt he was underrated and he came into some criticism.
He was
online.
in 22.
And look, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, even if I think they're wrong. But can you tell us a bit more about Cam as a captain? Maybe not just what we see on the field, but off it. Essentially, why you think Cammy is the right captain for the Rhinos in 2025.
Well, I just think it's more than a role that somebody is on the pitch talking to the ref. What does a captain do on the field? It annoys me a little bit because they're not, especially like the halfback's controlling the game.
Yeah,
the halfback's controlling the game. The loose forward is going to speak to the halfback here and there about what play he wants, where he wants the ball.
Where we're going next.
Yeah, it's the halfback that controls the game. So other than that, what's Cam's involvement as a captain? Other than he might say a bit before we go out, or he's the one who speaks to the ref.
Yeah, the ref. Talk to the team,
What's that really? It's more about like other stuff off the field. I can't even pinpoint like anything specific he does. He's just a good leader. He's a good person. He looks after his team. He cares about people. Mm-hmm. He's a Leeds lad. I know he's a Cast lad, but he's been at Leeds all his life.
We'll let him off for that.
Yeah, but I keep saying like there's no. What's the definition of a great captain other than like?
Well, you talk about leading by example. You know, he had the most tackles in the league. I think for the second year in a row. I
can't believe I'm going back that he's never in the England side. That's what drives me nuts.
But yeah, so it was. I just found it really interesting because obviously he has come under some criticism on the pod, but it was quite an open moment really. That I'm not sure if JGB was expecting it on the pod.
I just felt like I needed to say a little bit for him because. Yeah, I feel like he has been getting a bit of stick, and it's not like he knows as well, but he's not like at parts last year. Sort of took it all on his shoulders, and he feels like the team loses. Oh, it's my fault. But it's not. It's not that deep really. And he can't control the outcome.
And that's a shared weight, really, amongst the squad, isn't it? You know, when
burden to bear.
Yeah,
it's a shared weight.
Yeah, it's just one of them, isn't it? Like you're the captain, but it doesn't mean you're in control of the outcome of how the team performs or how the team's going or anything like that. There's a lot more going on that people don't see that contributes to how the team's going and everything like that. So yeah, I just feel a little bit. Not sorry for him because he's not at home sulking, but
just supporting him.
Yeah, just support him as a mate, if nothing else. Yeah,
definitely. We love you, Cam. Anyway,
and talk about the support as well. You talk some of the young players. I touched on it earlier. Riley Lum, nearly broke into the side this year, but unfortunately got injured.
He blew his hamstring. Didn't he?
Blew his hamstring, against Hull. Have you seen any of the youngsters that maybe you're thinking that are maybe on the verge of the team sort of coming through?
Would you count Alfie in that, Angel?
Well, technically, but he played as probably as many games as you did.
I see him as a first teamer now.
Do you? Yeah. What about the McCormack brothers? They're pretty good.
Yeah. Fergus has got a mullet. Well, he did have a mullet last year, so that was good.
I think Fergus is meant to be like shit hot. Yeah. I've seen him play. I think he played Bradford pre-season, came off at bench.
Yes, he did.
He did it also.
Chris went to that,
And he played, he only played about 10 minutes, but he
set
looked class.
Traps,
but he's just waiting for his chance. But I think they're both just still learning because the Union lads really.
Yeah. Oh, they are.
So just trying to learn a bit, aren't they? But I think they'll be good in years to come. Just a bit of. I think maybe COVID stinted a bit of a bit of development with like younger lads.
Definitely, they've lost like a year or two. Haven't they?
That's why Ollie's still playing because nobody's coming in to
No
take
one's to take his shirt.
Hopefully, it's added a few years on our career. And, yeah.
And obviously, one of your signings, Jake Connor. You talked about him in the opponent box too. You looking forward to playing with Jake?
I am. Yeah, he's class, isn't he? He's a good player. Just needs to be fit for us, and keep him in line, I suppose. But people only see what he's like on the field, don't they? And he's a good bloke and pretty quiet actually. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with him and just see what
he's ours
now, like.
So we have to love him, don't we? Yeah.
It's going to be some really strong characters in that side next year. Obviously, I'm thinking of his other centre, Newman, who they had a to and fro at John Smith, didn't they? This year.
Did they?
When we scored one of the tries, Harry was in his face at one point. But how do you, when you've got like big characters like that, not saying manage it, how do you get the best out of it from your perspective?
Harry's a weird one, isn't he? Because he's just mental, but
in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way, because he's just like he just wants to win and wants to play.
You can see
well, and he's just passionate. And I said the other day that sometimes his delivery of things is awful, but what he's actually saying
is right.
He's right, yeah. So you're like, well, you can't really say that, Harry, or in that way.
But we know what you're on about.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying, pal. But he's great. Like like you say, you want people like that. You want people hungry and passionate for the game. And Jake's like that, isn't he? So it could be pretty special next year.
I think so.
And hopefully behind a bigger pack. Or actually, we are going to be behind a bigger pack with Cooper and Palaiosia. Hopefully, we'll see him on Saturday.
Did he not play the other day?
He was 18th man of the week, so hopefully we'll see him on Saturday here at Headingley.
Yeah.
Are you sort of? Did he share sort of our opinion that we needed a bit more oomph from the pack a bit, maybe up front?
Well, everyone's been calling for it for ages, haven't they?
Well, because Mick carries the side a bit.
19 props, so we're not.
Paul Ledsky seems to do a shed load of work.
We're not the best platform.
Just needs to share it out a bit more.
Well, we lost Tom all year last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Tom were good for us. Were it 2023 or 2022? He were class. Can't remember.
23.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah. So that were a big loss really for us. So if Tom's fit, then we've got them two boys coming in, Mikolai, Sambo.
Yeah.
Who else is in there? Yeah, Big Tommy. I thought Tommy were good last year for us as well.
Came in and did a good job.
Cammy, Jock. So it's competition again, isn't it? All over, which is good. Yeah, we want to have a squad that's not 17 players and then young lads fill in. You need a squad. You need a 25 man, don't you, to get to the end? Because every team picks up niggles and injuries all the way through, don't they? So you need to
dubious concussions,
yeah. Jesus.
Can't we talk about that as a hot topic in the RFL, especially in Sheffield right now? Eddie, shall we move on to our final segment?
On to you. You mentioned some teammates there. We've just got some teammate questions.
And this is for your entire career.
Your whole career.
Based on the whole current squad.
Right.
Whole career. Who's the hardest tackler you've played with? Who do you think's
with?
Yeah, who's hit the hardest? Who's put?
Kylie Luluai.
Of course. Even the Bradford game for Rob and JJB
killed someone, didn't it?
But it failed.
I think it was.
Well, Ben Failer, a ref.
No, it were a young kid, wasn't it?
What
I'm sure it was like someone on trial.
I remember
for
Failer going over and being like, Kylie, just calm down. It's just a friend.
It were a trialist that.
What it? They absolutely killed him.
Never played again.
Never played again. On trial and he's a plumber now. They're putting enough at that poor lad.
Who was the strongest?
Well, probably
Kylie again.
Jared's strong though.
Really?
Yeah, proper
Best
strong.
of the pod.
Harry's strong. Harry's strong as well.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
Who's the best dancer in the squad? Has anybody got any decent moves?
Cal were pretty good dancer, Cal Watkins.
Really?
Yeah, we went to Barcelona one time and he were
cutting some shapes.
Yeah, he was. Mikolai fancies himself, I think, as well.
He did show it, that 2020 Grand Challenge Cup. He showed it after, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Who's the sort of biggest underrated player or unsung hero?
Unsung hero?
Reese Martin.
Unsung, you think?
You
I
reckon?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's going to be. I'm sorry, I said I'd never talk about him again because I think he's going to be a massive, massive loss. But I think we're going to miss him next year.
I would say he's unsung, though.
Do you not reckon?
Well, he's Fans Player of the Year this year. He's,
maybe.
Was in the Dream Team.
No, yeah, true.
He's won Player of the Year a couple of times now.
What's the answer?
He's out playing for
I mean, the one that we always go for is Carl Ablett. You know, he was
Carl
a
Ablett,
classic
yeah, true.
unsung hero.
Yeah.
But
I just worry that.
Jonesy, maybe?
Yeah.
JJB?
Yeah, maybe.
Definitely. Not bad. Who has the worst taste? Who has the worst taste in music? Has anybody put something on Spotify and you think, what is this?
I can't really think of anyone. Rowan used to listen to like heavy rock metal band.
Really?
Yeah.
And he put it on for everyone.
That's surprising.
Might have put it on before, and I'm like, wow, this is awful.
And he put it on for everyone to listen to.
We used to have like meetings where if you used to have to sing it front of a group, and Rowan had to do it for some reason, and he had heavy metal on. Yeah.
Because you can't walk out on time to Metallica. Who's been the sort of best trainer?
Best trainer. Cruz Lehman's a good trainer.
Really?
Like trainer in the gym and that, you mean?
Yeah, training in general, or
Oh, what, like performance on the pitch?
training in
Everything,
general. Yeah, whether it's a gym or whether it's
Trainer on the field. Poor. Cruz like just good, like a good trainer, like he'd do everything all the time.
yeah.
Who else would I say is a good trainer? Who'd do something mad in training, but don't really know. Jack Sinfield's a good trainer. You know, because when we train against, he's like on the Bibs team and rips us apart sometimes.
Does he?
Yeah, he's good.
We're playing next year. Who's the funniest teammate, past or present? Who makes you laugh?
Frog. Brett Delaney.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Hilarious.
An idiot. He's a funny guy.
I loved him.
Yeah, he's class.
Biggest teacher's pet?
Coach's pet, teacher's pet.
Wow.
Who's always, yes, coach, no, coach.
Oh, I don't know. Cam.
Who's the best player you've played against? But you've played against a few. You mentioned Bevan French earlier. Anyone else you've...
Sean Johnson.
Yeah.
Played against him in that Nines tournament.
Yeah.
And
still lighting it up.
I had hold of him, and then I didn't.
They were gone.
Yeah, then he was gone.
Kevin knows that feeling as well.
I mention that.
I know. One of my favourite players was Sean Johnston. Tightest. Who's the one that never either owes you money and says, I'll get you back, don't worry, or just never seems to have the card or cash on him?
I did say Alex Meller, but I might have been a bit harsh there. But I don't think he's first to put his hand up to get coffee. Yeah. But he's not that bad. Well, he might have been saving all his money because he's just gone on his honeymoon to Maldives with his missus. So been saving for 25 years.
It was the Maldives. Who's the hardest player you've come up against? Anyone give you a big hit, or you're like thinking, oh God, I can't believe he's playing, he's an hard bastard?
I don't know, you don't really get that like on wing that much. It's real Flower
we do
pretty
now,
good. You know, we played
Catalan.
yeah. Well, that's quarter final that. And he was a good player.
Yeah,
But
tough.
yeah, can't really think of anyone else. He just jumps into my head then.
How about a player that you wish you could have played with throughout your career as a teammate? You've obviously played with some legends at Leeds, haven't you?
Maybe Sam Tompkins actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good player.
Just because of how good he obviously was.
What's it like to play against? Was he a bit of a wind-up merchant? Was he always,
Yeah, a little bit maybe.
always
yeah.
saying stuff?
Yeah. But then how good would that be to have on your team? And I bet his class like leadership stuff and that. I reckon he'd be really good at
Good player
with
as well.
stuff like that. Yeah. So
Yeah, really good.
Is anyone that takes training too seriously, like when they're doing
Tom
team
Allred.
and Tom Allred?
Really? I was like, calm down, mate. We've got a game on Saturday.
Tom Allred. Yeah.
That just rolled off the tongue instantly. Like, no thought. What even prepped for that?
I remember
that
one
question?
time in training, I might have smacked him from behind, And he lost his head. And he tried to find out who did it. Who did it?
Realise you running onto the wing. No, not me. Wasn't me.
I'm out here.
Yeah. Want me, pal?
I'm out here. Who's the most skillful player you've ever played with?
Maybe Magsy.
Yeah. Some skill.
Yeah, man.
My man.
Cal's like different skill. Like Cal Watkins were like silly with his like agility and an athlete, wasn't he? But Magsy were like, we played when Magsy came back when he played for OKR that time.
He destroyed us.
Yeah,
He destroyed us.
What's going on here?
Yeah,
Why have we let this guy
as
go?
a fan, exactly. As a fan in the stand watching him, it was like he was doing everything that he did for us to us.
Yeah.
As a fan, it looked
loving
like
it as well. Wasn't it?
it looked like we knew what he were going to do because he's done it for like 20 years for us, but we couldn't stop it.
No.
And then at the end, they beat us, and at the end, he just walked around and we just went, "Cheers, Danny," for
nice one.
kicking his ass, and he just went. We all singing his name, and he just fucked off back to.
What about
OKR.
when we played OKR? Brad's first game, were it? Were it Brad's first game? Everyone was chanting Ryan Hall in stand and he scored against us.
Well,
what's going on here?
when he came out, I don't remember him cheering after he
cheering
scored.
him, and then he scored. I'm like, what's going on here? He just scored against us, and we've lost game.
Just give him a round of applause.
Yeah, nice one.
He definitely got a cheer before and
He should have knocked that on, by the way. Should have dropped it, particularly when he's sound. Absolutely unbelievable.
Maybe who in the current squad, who's most likely to be a coach?
Good question.
I would have said Paul Momorowski.
Yeah.
I think Jared said him as well.
Fancies himself as a coach, I reckon.
I'm sure
Talks a
Jared
right
said
game.
Does he?
He's got some right knowledge on the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably him. Can I say him or do I say
I
someone else?
mean, technically, he's not part of the squad anymore.
But it's someone that you played with.
Yeah.
So you can. Who's got the worst dress sense?
Jared. Yeah.
Any example as to why?
We once were going on a night out, or not a night out. We were off for a few beers after training, and Jared went, "I can't go like this. I need to get changed." He came back in a worse outfit. Yeah.
And what?
Couldn't believe it.
Something.
Don't even know. And
you're all just saying, you've just.
And then he came back with something worse on. I'm like, what's going on here? Unreal. I'll never forget that. Fucking class.
Looking forward to seeing what he wears at our event now. Who's the most intelligent?
Good question.
Ooh.
Anybody a bookworm or? You can't say yourself.
Do you know who's proper intelligent? I'd say Sam Lusoni.
Yeah, he plays chess, doesn't he?
The chess
He was telling us when he came on here, he said he loves playing.
He used to play chess. Did he tell you that he used to play it in school? And he used to compete against other schools. Yeah, you never expect that.
Just imagine coming to a chess game. So we're playing in this round. You just see this
massive
6 foot free.
Got some short nerd or some black Sambo walks.
Yeah.
Any more already?
Who's got the best banter?
Bentos has got awful banter.
Really? Yeah. That was the next question.
He will fancy he's got best banter, but it's mean.
But he's got the worst.
Mikolai's funny, but I don't know if he's just.
Do you feel like he's accidentally funny?
Yeah, a little bit. But he's funny. He's proper funny. He's Mick. Love him.
Who's the most serious player on the field?
Brody, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Really like take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
he's very. He practices movements and stuff, and I remember I didn't play against. We played London, and it was a 1 point game over there.
Yeah.
And I was watching him, and he was like practicing. He was like swinging his foot. Like, what's this clown doing? And then obviously I was practicing before he took the drop goal, but I never put 2 and 2 together.
He must have known it's going to go down to a drop
sets
goal
beforehand.
So they scored. I don't even think we were equal, but I think he was doing it just like to get his head round it.
I don't remember saying that.
You need to be watching, mate.
You need to be watching.
Admittedly, I had about
25 pints at that stage.
Yeah, and he was like practicing his swing. I thought, what the fuck's he doing?
What was he doing?
And then he kicked drop goal with ease. Yeah.
Who's the biggest moaner in the side?
Harry.
Another one that just rolled off the tongue.
I think we all could have guessed that
one. And who's the biggest? Final question. Thanks for coming on, by the way. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks, Therese. Who's the biggest Leeds Rhinos super fan in the squad?
Oh, would you say? I would say maybe Cam or
Cammy,
Jared. Cam's like a massive rugby fan. Maybe not just Leeds Rhinos, but he watches all that NRL. What are all them? What are all them? What's them shows called over there? The
Footy
NRL
show,
shows.
Matty
He
Jones.
watches all them.
Fox 360.
Yeah, he's got it all locked down. Yeah, I think Jared's a bit of a super fan, actually, is he?
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, he loves us. So.
That's of us.
It definitely is. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to Ash. Thanks to AMT
mate.
Handley for having us down. Check out all Ash's testimonial stuff. His night at Roxy's and his shirt that's coming out soon, which is very nice, very kind of shared to us. Thanks everybody for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.